Flip. Sick. All right. Sup, internet. Welcome to the channel On The Move. I'm Derek Wells, where I post about my business, Weld Pro, where the channel mostly is welding, tips and tricks, and kind of a place where I can kind of help people learn welding throughout my experience in metal fabrication and welding. I also post a lot as well with my hobbies that keep me staying on the move, from skydiving and motorcycle racing and everything. I have been a little absent as far as welding. I've been incredibly busy. So customers come first, the welds come first, ever before, I can take the social media route. But with that being said, I had my first field service job this weekend. So one of my biggest customers, I do all of their welding in-house. I'm set up for in-house welding in the shop. I'm really not set up for mobile. But they had contacted me, one of their pieces of equipment got a crack in it, and they had asked, hey, we need you. Can you, make it for a field service job? With that being said, I do kind of want to give a disclaimer. If you are new to welding, or if you're just starting off, take your personal skill level into consideration before taking, personal field service jobs. For me, I've been doing this the majority of my entire life, a couple decades now, and when it comes to field service work, I have a very good understanding in what the customer wants, and they're wanting their piece of equipment to be fixed. By the end of the goal, that's what they want. So, on my end of it, on my aspect, what equipment do I need? What consumables do I need? What power sources do I need? And I've been doing it long enough to where I understand the checklists and thought process and what I'm going to need to be able to bring to be able to complete a job. So, I get contacted on a Wednesday and I did the job on a Saturday, and there's the short end of it to what the customer sees. They see you come in with the equipment, do the weld and leave, but I have a lot of back work or behind the scenes work that, makes it able to do that, to be able to show up at a place of business and be able to perform exactly what they want and give the customer their satisfaction in repairing their piece of equipment. So I just kind of want to describe, if anybody's doing that, remember your equipment, take accountability for it, make sure it all works beforehand. So there's pre-checks to your equipment. Make sure you have, plenty of gas to be able to do the job. Can't run out of gas when you're out in the field. Where are you going to be able to get gas? So have enough gas, either a full gas tank or even spares, your leads, consumables, tungstens. Even think about your tungsten being sharpened. Do you have enough to be able to do it? Do you have a mobile sharpener? Can you sharpen tungsten? For me, I sharpened a whole entire pack with me. Didn't have to use them, but just in case, I had that availability to where if I needed to grab another one, I could. I did have, multiple sizes of filler rods. Extension cords are a big one. If you're going to a place and if you're going to a place to weld and, what's your power source? Do you need to bring a power source? Do you have a machine that has it, a mobile truck welding that has a generator on it? Do you have a generator? Do you have plugins? Does the company have 220? Do you need to run off 110? If you get into that situation, can your equipment run off 110? Can it run off, whatever they supply? Do you have long enough extension cords to be able to get to the weld? Do you have long enough leads for your TIG torch to be able to reach where you're looking at? So there's all of these checks and balances that go into this and thought process. So I spent the last 2 days in my shop compiling the equipment, and that's the part that most customers don't see, and that's a lot of time that goes into that. Does your equipment work? Is it serviceable? How are you going to pack it and load it? How are you going to unload it at their place? Do you have a dolly? Do you have heavy equipment? Does it need, do you need help moving it in? Then there's always, you know, the location where you're at. Are they in a toxic environment, like a hazardous environment? So if you're welding, can you perform the weld safely? You know, you can't have any fires or explosions. That's never going to go well. So take the location and your atmosphere into consideration for what you're doing and making sure that your safety is on point. Another big one for people to think about is lockout tagouts, the piece of equipment that you're working on. Lockout tagouts, keys, and fire watch. Do you have a person that is right there with a fire extinguisher or a pressurized water tank to be able to help you, you know, in a time of need if something were to happen? So all of that, you know, it takes equipment, it takes money. It's all, you know, pre-planning, you know, plan for the worst kind of type situations, and, you know, perform the best that you can. And I'm really proud to be able to have accomplished that field service job on Saturday. It was a big task for me, being able to go through all of my equipment and say, yes, I can, to be able to go back to the customer and say, yes, I can take care of you on this. And there was a lot of work involved in it, and Saturday went amazing. So really proud to be able to do that and to be able to share that with you guys as well. I do want to talk about welding off of 110. That's another big one, because the job that I did, I wasn't able to run a generator and they didn't have 220 hookups. So I had to run my HTP 221 invertig off 110. I will do a video later in the week kind of describing running off of 110. It worked really great. With that being said, that was one of my pre-checks that I had to kind of study myself back in the shop here. I ran my machine off 110, used different size electrical cords, different plugins, just to see. I wanted all the variables on what would go into, you know, situations if I blew a breaker, different outlets, 15 amp versus 20 amp, what kind of power outage that I had to the torch. So I'll give a video kind of later in the week on my findings and help anybody out that way for the differences between welding 220 and versus 110 outlets. So that was just kind of something that I wanted to share with you guys today. Everything worked out great. Also on the so there's the front side of it, you know, pre-planning your service call, and then there's the back side of it. Once you get back, unloading all your equipment and cleaning everything, and then that allows you to do inspections and inspections and checks on your equipment afterwards as well, and really lets you kind of know what you used, what you might need, how could it have gone better, what equipment you might want to invest in the future, and then, you know, forward planning the future of your personal welding as well. So for me, today I've been cleaning. Shop is incredibly clean. I do have a bunch of practice welds that I kind of want to do, so I'll kind of dirty the shop up again. But I have been able to go through all my equipment, do my checks and balances. I will be doing an inspection report later on today that gets sent to the customer for my findings, the way that I repaired everything, and then I'll give a picture documentation for them as well. So that's part of it, my field service jobs that I provide as well to them. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing today. That's what I've been up to the last few days, last week in welding. I'll throw out a few fun shorts and videos and some welding here coming up. For the time being, I did post some more race videos in the shorts from yesterday as well. Last night was the Sycamore's last race, motorcycle and quad race at the track. So that was fun. I did get to go. I did not race in it, but it was a good time. So thanks for hanging around. If you guys want any more videos on field service, let me know in the comments. I will do a video later on the week on 220 versus 110 TIG welding. So yeah, that's all I got right now. Thanks, guys.